We're live.
We are live. Oh man. So what's going on, buddy?
I'm exhausted because
Me too.
I'm exhausted. We got dumped on our trip out of off the peninsula and just rained buckets, man. So
Oh, oh, that stinks. That stinks. So well, right now we're having some scheduling conflicts. We're with Mr. Ed. So
yeah,
unfortunately. So we'll see if we can't get that corrected. We'll give it a few more minutes, but we may have to reschedule Mr. Edward Shin, unfortunately. But we figured we at least come on for a little bit and try to see what everybody's doing, how their week's going right now. But it's been kind of crazy. So you actually just got out from or just got back from the woods, right? Like you and Carlson.
yeah.
Is
We
that
went out to Peninsula Trail and we did an overnighter. And Saturday night was great, but about mid well, before we went to bed, it started raining and it just dumped on us. And yeah, we and as is our custom, we just sloshed through the mud, and my wet was wet. Let's put that way.
your wet was wet?
My wet was wet. Yeah, I had no part of me that was dry.
Oh man,
But
that's
I got to
crazy.
test out my Fiber Palace Dyneema tarp, and much props to Hammock Gear because that thing it was awesome. It kept me dry while I was in the hammock. It's when we were breaking down camp that I just got drenched. So we're good.
So you had that thing's ginormous, right? Do you know what? How big is that one?
So if you think about what a standard tarp is, standard Dyneema tarp with doors, it's about a foot more on each side. So it's at least I want to say instead of a 10-6 side, it's like an 11-6 side. So 12-foot sides.
Okay.
So
Okay.
put it in porch mode, and two people can sit under there comfortably in the rain.
Nice. Nice. Or you can just hog it to yourself and make your friends sit out in the rain.
Absolutely. Although I have to give props to Carlson. He was a big help to me when I was trying to tear down. Of course, he always gets done before me, and he whips through that. Of course, he also didn't have 40 pounds of camera gear, thinking he's going to be the next Steven Spielberg for trails like I did, and so he got settled, and then he was watching me, and I know he felt bad for me because I'm just getting dumped on while he's under his little girl umbrella, and it's tiny. I mean, it's like a Hello Kitty. It almost about that size.
Does it come with like those head mounts that you could just put it on and
No, but
wear?
actually a good idea.
That's funny. So hey, I got the slumberjack leaking problem fixed, by the way.
Yay!
So
That's good.
yeah, obviously the rain that just dumped on you just hit us. Well, Friday, amongst everything else, had kind of a busy weekend and some emergencies that came up. But Friday, I managed to get a couple hours to seam seal the tent, and then I took 2 cans of waterproofing fabric spray. I do that with all the tents also after I seam seal them. And just saturated the whole thing. I mean, it was like it changed colors. Like I sprayed it with so much
That's
stuff.
good.
Yeah, yeah. So I walk out this morning after the thunder and the buckets were dumping, and look inside, and it was completely dry on the inside. So it now will no longer rain on the inside of that tent. So that
That's good.
and then that tent that or the like what is it, the carport tent slash apartment complex in a bag that I won off of you.
Yeah,
So
it's like a carport almost.
yeah, so I was gonna set that up, right? But I ran into one problem.
What?
I don't have enough property. I think I need more than 2 acres. It's
It
like
is
huge.
huge. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll have to figure out what I'm going to do with that. But I'm still questioning whether or not Sparky won it and give it to me, or if I truly want it. I have no idea.
Here's why I was going to do a review on it, and I started to, and Carlson and I set it up at the horse camp one time, and it wasn't even really that windy, but the two of us, it took us at least I think 30 minutes to set it up, and it's so awkward and hard to set up. That's why I was like,
That
sorry,
makes sense.
I don't
That
want it.
makes So Gone Feral with Squiggly. Slumberjack is a name I haven't heard in a long time. You have two other. They make sleeping bags.
Yeah, I have one.
Really?
I reviewed one for them, and it's my favorite one to truck camp with. It's a 0 degree, and the great thing about it is, you know how like most sleeping bags like push your toes down.
Okay.
This one, they've allowed enough material at the end where your feet can be like this, and it doesn't,
Oh,
and there's no weight really on your toes, and
nice.
I love it.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Hey, there's a lot of people in the chat right now from the meetup.
Yep.
So first off, you guys are awesome. I probably had one of the best weekends I've had in a long time at a meetup. So I mean,
That's
it was
fun.
just there was so much action going on right now. And did you see Tanya's video of the hammock competition?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
She did a good job capturing that.
yeah, she did. Yeah, she did. So I still need to know if Carlson took that trophy to work. I think
He
he did.
did.
Didn't
He sent me a picture of it on his desk.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. That's awesome. I still think he's onto something with I think it was him and John, was it, that came up with a naughty hammock name or slogan or something like that. Like,
Yeah.
that's perfect.
If he would learn to sew, he could.
Well, I don't know. I don't know. I think he might save money in thread. I have no idea.
And
But
needles.
yeah.
Yeah.
Only one request for next year. I love the DMS crew, but I cannot be beside the ice cream tent. I mean, that totally ruined my whole fasting period, because
Yeah.
I will be the first to tell you that that crew, they'll give you ice cream at any part of the day. So,
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, they did such a good job with that. And, it teaches the kids a great lesson about serving. I think that's why he told me that's kind of why he does it.
I love
Uh,
it.
yeah.
I mean,
Well,
he honestly, the world could probably take some notes on being a dad from that guy. I mean, he's really, really such a good dude. So very cool.
did you see, I think it was Saturday night, how exhausted he was though?
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
sitting in their chair and he was falling asleep, and I felt so bad for him. But then I was like, it's kind of a proud dad sleep, because you're
Yeah.
like, you've done everything in the day to make sure your kids' lives they're having so much fun, and as well as everybody else.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the kids had a blast too. Rugged Mountain Mister. I still like to think that I wore him out playing soccer, but
Mhm.
I would be lying at that point. So it was actually, all those kids were running the whole time. So it's really a cool environment just to see everybody in the generosity, and that stoop that was made in that ginormous cauldron. I mean,
Oh yeah, that burgoo.
yeah, that was fantastic. Which I seen that Gary got his channel launched, has a
Yeah,
couple videos out there. So
yeah.
can you bring that up? Actually,
Let
I
me.
might bring that.
Yeah, keep talking. I'll look for him.
Okay, well, I'm not going to talk. I'm going to sit and stare at you until you bring it up.
It's fine.
so,
That's fine.
so let's see what's in the Tanya rocks. She did a great job.
And she made it to the cave, and she got to go in the cave, and that because
I haven't even done
she
that
got
yet.
sick. She got sick last time. There we go. Yeah, this is Gary's channel. Oh,
I'm wandering, not
he just
lost.
he just released another. I've watched these.
Yeah, his strap storage, that was brilliant.
Yeah,
The little shoe storage bags, I'm stealing that one for my garage. I mean, that was a
yeah.
fantastic idea.
And props to Susie. She was a trooper for this whole thing too.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, that's him. He's launched. I'm going to talk to him about let's get this area taken care of.
Yeah, yeah. For those that don't know, Gary is brand new to the YouTube scene. In that picture, the thumbnail with the RV and the Jeep, he's actually going to be driving that to Alaska for about a 2 or 3 month adventure.
Yep.
And that Jeep is a 1954. It says Navy on it. I almost called it an Army Jeep, but just a old military Jeep that he actually redone in I think it was in memory or in honor of his father.
Yeah.
I mean, so which is
I
really
believe so.
cool.
Yeah, that was fun riding in that.
So, man, fantastic. So, but no, other than that, that was a good time last weekend. So, how is your training situation going? I got to ask you that.
So it's going great. I'm actually 3 pounds more down before we started the hike this weekend.
Okay.
And I carried, like I said, 40 pounds, 5 miles out and 5 miles back. And I still have to do my second workout today after this. So, but my legs are toast right now. So I'm going to have to do upper body.
Nice.
But yeah, we're still, I think we're on day 23 of 75. So still doing it. Still,
You did
and
great this weekend, Carlson says. He give you a compliment, dude.
wait, let me save that.
Yeah, yeah. Can you bring that up on the screen and I can shoot a picture of it?
Yeah, let's screenshot that.
Oh.
Yeah.
That will.
I will say the training that I've been doing, I was talking with him about this. I noticed, even though Peninsula Trail is kind of flat, but we took a lot less breaks than we normally do. Especially, there's one big hill that you have to go back up, but we took a lot less breaks than we normally do. And so I am noticing an increase in my cardio. I'm noticing an increase in my stamina. And so I just trashed my legs with the amount of weight I was carrying. But yeah, it's going great.
Nice. Awesome. So yeah, I've struggled this weekend, but just softball, a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah,
going
you were
on.
busy. You were too busy.
Dude, it's crazy.
And you're not officially doing the 75 hard, so you
no, but I feel guilty every time I see you posting. I'm not doing something, and it's like I make an excuse to not run, and then it's like, man, Chris is doing it twice a day. Rain, snow, doesn't matter. So yeah, I gotta start doing something. I'm not gonna be the guy that doesn't make it up, Albert. I'll tell you that much.
Right.
I'm not gonna be that guy. Although that's kind of gonna be a challenge, though, to be
It
honest
will
with
be
you, for the
because
time.
you're not going to be acclimated either.
No. So okay, so basically, what the plan is, just because of the amount of time and vacation time and trying to get it to work, I'm literally going to drive 2 days and then summit with Chris, and then head off to Red Cone because I got a couple more Jeep trails in my head. I got to knock out. So, 40 pounds. How many steaks were in that pack?
No, Stoney, that was all camera gear. That's the thing. I was going to be the Cecil B. DeMille on, make it a nice, and I had my big Sony and I had 2 lenses and batteries, and I didn't do any of it because my tripod broke.
That's fantastic. Hey, MK Ultra, good to see you, buddy.
Oh, I was just in one of his streams earlier
That's
today.
Fantastic.
So, he was talking about, so MK was talking about he likes ambient music or affirmations. Mm-hmm. So I told him about my channel, about that Abundant Results channel, and he played it in his stream. So everybody got to hear my voice going, "I am confident."
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
So, I still think I need to use you for voiceovers.
Hey man, I can, my normal speaking voice, but I've got this radio voice that I set aside from broadcasting school because I went to broadcasting school. So I've got this radio voice I can emulate.
Okay, so back up, broadcasting school.
Yeah.
So that was literally a career that you were going to go into? Was that something that...
Dude, I've been to college 5 times. So I started out as a music major, a voice music major on a full scholarship. I switched to broadcasting because me and my buddy were going to be the next Bob and Tom. Yeah, whatever. And then I've done like nursing, obviously, and then computers and one other thing. I can't remember what I had another major, but I didn't know what I wanted to be when I grew up. But yeah. So I've been to broadcasting school. That's how I know about all this stuff.
Well, that helps. Yeah. I mean, my goodness. So, hey, so I think we were kind of disappointed last weekend. Mr. Backpacking with Jason wasn't able to make it. He had to kind of cancel at the last second, with good reason. I mean, we love that guy. So we definitely wish he could have made it up for the meetup last weekend. But guess what? I'm going to be bringing him to the Hoosier National this coming weekend. So, so he is actually excited to do some backpacking in Indiana. So I think what we're going to do, Just the two standard things. We're going to head to Terrell Pond. I got to look up. I had all the treks to the Blue Diamond Trail, the trail that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
I did that back in 2020, and it was pretty fun. But we're going to cut through the woods to the peninsula and then head back down and maybe check out the cave. So
you're going to Terrell, and you're
Mhm.
going to try and do the blue. The thing about the Blue Diamond Trail, though, is it's like it's very faint. You can't. It's
Yes.
easy to miss.
Yeah, I had to when I've done it once, and it literally I felt like I was just walking through this open woods and would just keep looking down at my phone for the GPS. So it is pretty wild. I've never really done that ever before, so that's
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
different.
So when he comes, you need to tell him to treat his clothes. Yeah, we had lots of ticks.
Did you really?
Yeah, we
Uh,
passed this guy who had two greyhounds out. He's out walking his two greyhounds, and one of them had a white coat, and on his butt there were 6 we saw right there, right on his white coat.
uh,
And then I had one crawl on me. I think Carlson had a couple. So yeah, it's they're already out and they're already
in your
bad.
hammocks, you had them crawling on you, or
No, just like as we were walking, like or
Got
sitting at camp.
okay? Well, I'll not tell him that till he gets here. All the stuff he drugged me
Yeah,
through.
you don't want him to. Man, I ain't coming because you guys got ticks now up there. You don't want him doing that.
Yeah. Well, David's actually going to come down too, so I'm going to take both of them. We're gonna, and David does the Charles C. Deem quite a bit and Hoosier National, so. But that'll be pretty fun. And then the other thing I'm hoping to do, I gotta find the Red River Gorge, which I really, really want to get a group of us to head down there and do like the byway, maybe this new section of the Danubian Byway. It's like 180 miles they're adding as an overlanding trail.
Yeah.
So as soon as that map is available, I will be all over it trying to get that and put into my Onyx, so that way we'll have that. But I think that's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'll come down and film.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
That'd be fantastic. I mean, shoot, we'll probably put the word out to anybody with a truck or Jeep Renegade. So anybody willing to
Suzuki
come.
Sidekick.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So, but that'll be a lot of fun. But no, have you ever used Onyx at all, or have you ever?
So interesting story about Onyx. So Mr. West, Brian West, Zone 58
Sure.
Adventures. He
him in the chat. Yeah,
he's in the chat. He texted me a long time ago. He's like, "Hey man, you need to look at this. This is cool." And I looked at it, and honestly, I know it's a good app now. Back when he sent it to me, it didn't look that impressive.
sure.
So I looked at it a few times. I wasn't impressed with it, and then I was like, "This is great." And plus, I'm not an overlander. I mean, not full time. And so that's my experience with it. I'm like, I wasn't initially impressed, so I haven't been back on it since then. So I'm sure it's better now.
Yeah. So they just launched a new app. I got an email on it. It's a Bronco app, like a Bronco navigation app specifically. Yeah. It's supposed to be exclusive to Bronco owners, but I mean, I like Onyx so much, and I've already bought it. I don't know if I really want to trade off that much.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like it takes me forever to learn how to use these things, and I promise you, I never, even with Gaia and all trails, I never use them to their potential. I mean, but there's just been such a host of different apps. It's like, man, I just want to find one, stick to it, and then be able to use it and move on. So
I mean, for hiking and backpacking, Gaia, I didn't think I would like it, but the more I looked at its features, and the main thing I like about it is, there's a mapping feature for Garmin for your inReach.
Yeah.
And the software there, when you're trying to create a route, it's so hokey. And you get to almost to the end of your route and you're creating your waypoint, and then it'll screw up and your whole route deletes. And so I was like, okay, I need something. So I tried Gaia, and Gaia has that smart lock where it locks onto a trail.
Yeah.
As you're creating that.
Mhm.
And I was like, okay. And then I can just take that file and put it into my Garmin, and it works great.
Yeah, that's okay. So what Zone just put up there, Onyx has route building now. He's absolutely right. I mean, you could pretty much do about everything from your phone or have it, from a computer and transferred over. But what I like about it is how easy it is to save. Like if I know I'm going into an area and I'm starting to lose signal or it's getting weaker, I can just download the map right there. I mean, it's
Yeah, the
super
area
easy.
you can
Oh
like
yeah, yeah.
quadrants. Yeah,
Yep, absolutely. And then on top of that, it's like the big thing that I wanted to do, especially as I'm wanting to do more and more West stuff, um, is like, okay, what is government land? What's public land? Private land? You know, just I wanted to be able to clearly see it, what where I'm at and what I'm standing on. So the fact that it labels it, I mean, it started off what as a hunting app, because I remember having it as a hunting app like years ago. I didn't even
yeah.
know it was an off-roading app until what, last year or something. Um, and that was a big thing. It would show you what land you're hunting on, and it was almost like legal binding. Like you could almost bet, as far as any type of legality issues, that it's going to be accurate.
Yeah.
So, and I think for me that was just a huge deal to have with that.
So I think, I'm looking up right now. I'm looking up.
Fieldquest, a Subaru would absolutely do the byway.
So I'm looking up right now. Let me show you this real quick because I'm on Gaia, and on Gaia there is a layer called private land.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
and so you see the color differences.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it does, as you zoom in, it does give you areas that are, I guess these would be the private land areas. Yeah.
So the other thing too, which zones all over this, man, um, it actually tells you where the forest fires are on Onyx.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you knew that or not, but like
And then,
literally, if there's a forest fire in the area, I can tap on it. It'll say if it's contained, how many acres is burning. So it's actually really, really cool. Because
that's good for out west.
oh,
Definitely.
it's fantastic. Actually, funny thing, when Sparky and myself were driving, no, I'm sorry, it was me. It was before Sparky was there. I was driving west and going through Oklahoma, and there was actually a fire. I mean, I could see a forest fire as plain as day, and so I pulled over to the side and I looked, and it was already reported. It showed right on Onyx that's where it was, and it was
Is
like
it is it
100
is
acres.
it is it user reported or is it officials reported? Is it
No,
like
it's
Waze where you show where the speed traps are?
No, this is like this. You could bet your life on it. Like it's not. And when you click on it, it'll tell you if it has information, how big it is. If they don't know how big it is, it'll leave it blank.
Yeah.
If it's contained, not contained. I mean, you could literally count on it to adjust your route if you had to. So I mean, it's a fantastic feature for Onyx, and actually, probably one of the best features about it. Actually, if you really think from a safety perspective.
Sure.
So, but
Cool.
I really enjoy it.
By the way, we're not sponsored by Onyx.
No,
Just
not at all.
not
Not at
yet.
all. The guy that we're going to reschedule is sponsored by
It is
Onyx, funny
sponsored by.
enough.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, yeah, absolutely. But anyone want to do the JMT in 2025? Absolutely.
Yes, please. Yeah.
So,
So, yeah, lots. Just a busy week. Just lots going on. Um, I got a trip coming up at Northhouse Dunes on the 19th in Michigan.
okay.
And after that, I'm probably going to take a weekend at home because my place is a wreck.
I mean, you got rid of so much gear. I mean, I
Yeah,
imagine they had to put it
but
in.
preparing for the meetup, I bring things out to see if I'm going to give it away, and I'm never
Gotcha.
putting them back apparently.
Oh, well, that was fantastic. Like all the stuff that was given away. You know what was really cool about that, since we're kind of talking about gear? I mean, there was a lot of people that donated stuff. That was really, really cool.
One of them I want to call out because it was near the end, or not near the end, but Tom. Do you remember seeing that guy Tom? He had the other Chevy van. He built out. He was like parked near. He was parked near Trail Medic.
Oh yeah, on the other side.
So
Yeah.
that guy he had a box of 6 alcohol stoves that he made out of pop cans.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
I was supposed to put them in the giveaway, and I didn't get that, and I feel bad. But he made them; they're very well made, and so I did give them out, but they were supposed to be in the giveaway.
That's cool though. I mean, that's cool that people just willing. I think that somebody donated a gift card too. I mean, did
I know Ross did last time. I don't know that we
okay.
had a gift. Maybe I can't. There was so much given away. I can't remember everything.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't get to see. I was over. David kidnapped me for a chili dog, so when he showed up, so I didn't get to see who won the hammock. I was kind of curious about that, but
The Bumblebee too.
yeah, yeah.
I don't remember who won the hammock. I remember who won because Keith won my hammock, the One Wind, which he's already ripped a hole in. But but I don't remember who won that. It might have
Man.
been. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, okay. So if you won the Bumblebee 2.0, please message me on Instagram. Let me know. I'm just curious. So
Yeah.
if you want like to show a picture of it in the woods to me, that would be fantastic. So I just kind
And
of
you
curious.
release all rights to the photo and
Yes, yes. So I took a lot of time with that one. That one was probably some of the best stitching I've ever put in. So mainly because it was yellow stitching on black fabric. But
yeah. So
so
you gave away a little piece of your heart.
yeah, 5.3 ounces. So,
Your ultralight heart.
I know, right? I know. I actually do have some material. I just got some more continuous loops in. I found it. I didn't even know I had so much Cloud 71, to be honest with you. So I'm going to make a few, like probably 2 or 3 more hammocks and throw them on Etsy here in a couple weeks when I get some time. But so those will be available. Probably not as cheap as I sell them for at these meetups,
Yeah.
but yeah. So we'll definitely look at that. But hey, so you are you going to Michigan? Is that what you're doing coming
Yeah.
up? Or
Yeah.
okay,
Nordhaus Dunes.
what is that? Is that
It's
just a
on the
hiking
lake.
area?
Well, it's a wilderness area, so it's kind of like the Deem. So there's you got a beach on the lake, and
Okay.
then you've got a wooded area that you can hang hammock in or whatever. Which is so I'm going with Chicago Dan.
Oh,
Um,
okay. The guy with the
and
Jeep,
yeah,
the really nice Jeep.
yeah,
Okay, cool.
and then so do a couple nights up there, and he was telling me. I said, well, we're not going to camp on. Do I need a freestanding tent? He's like, no, there's a wooded area. You can bring your hammock, which is great. Because I should have my new hammock by then, which I'm excited about.
It's not an
And
ATOD hammock though.
it's not, but it has a bug net.
Oh my gosh, you and Keith, man, you and your like driving a convertible with the top up. I'm telling you.
So I'll have my neighborhood packs pack. I'll have my new tarp. I will have my new hammock, and I'm excited to try those out. And then he was telling me you have to walk through the beach to get the water from the lake.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you've ever tried to hike in sand before.
Pictured rocks. I mean,
Yeah.
that was a long. I mean, it was flat. I mean, I've walked up some dunes for a short while because it rained the entire time when we were up at Silver Lake Dunes. But
I
yeah,
did the 3 Dunes challenge at Indiana Dunes, and they actually have some elevation to them. That is rough.
oh
You expend twice as many calories because you're trying to steady your feet.
yeah,
But yeah, so we're going to do that, and then maybe in July I might go back up there to do North Manitou Island.
yeah. That actually has kind of been on my bucket list for a while.
Yeah.
I who did I see? Did I see Jason Wish do that one? I feel like I seen somebody do a video on that. Maybe
Possibly.
Adventure Archives. I think they went to that.
Yeah, and that's all
So
dispersed on that island, which is kind of
mhm.
cool.
Yeah, yeah.
So it'll
So
give me
what?
my first taste of Michigan, which I've never been to Michigan, so that'll be my first couple of tastes of Michigan.
So Sparky and myself are talking about trying to get some redemption on Isle Royale because that was like our first big trip, and um, so that thing started off rough from the get go, mainly because of the waves. It's
Yeah.
actually an old video, and if you look through it, it actually when we're on the boat, you can see the boat rocking back and forth, and it's like you're looking straight, but you're looking at the lake. I mean, it was really bad. It was like 65-mile-an-hour winds. So we start going to the middle to Isle Royale. It's supposed to be like a 3-hour tour. Yeah,
Nice.
so, right. So it ended up being like 4 hours, but literally everybody on that boat was throwing up so bad they ran out of barf bags. I mean, it was horrendous. It was like carnage I would stayed on the back of the boat. You weren't allowed on the front because it was so rough,
Yeah.
and everybody's kind of inside. I opened the door to go check on everybody, and I was like, "Whoa!" Slammed the door shut, and I'm like, "Good luck, fellas."
Yeah.
So,
Okay, bye-bye.
yeah, yeah. But on top of that, that was our first trip, so it's like, you had super heavy packs. You're mud slugging it because of all the rain, and we took Rock Harbor Trail, which is along the edge, and that's where all the water drains. I mean, it just, I had such a good time and with such miserable experience. Like as far as the heavy pack, the mud slugging, and you're like racing to campsites because you're afraid you're not going to get a good one. But it's like I can't wait to go back because it's like I feel like I know so much more about what I'm able to do now. Somebody say boat,
Yeah. Yeah.
hooks and
Yeah.
hammocks. I seen Hike with Mike is here. Hey, Mike.
Hey, Mike.
So he's on here too. But yeah, that was kind of a rough one for me. But it was crazy too. And actually, I remember talking to KillQuest about this at the meetup. So there's 2 wolves the time that I went. Right, that's all there was. The last 2 existing wolves. There's like 2,000 moose on the island. Never seen a moose the entire time. Every time we'd walk up, oh, there was a mom just here. It was feeding a baby. I'm like, oh, great, you know.
Great. Yeah.
So, but then we at one point at our first camp, we had a silver fox come into our camp. Walked in like he just wanted his
You
picture.
don't mean a really attractive older person, do you?
No,
Okay. Just checking.
no, like a legit silver fox. Because my nephew at the time that was with me, he goes, "Whoa, Uncle Jeremy, look, a coyote!" And I'm like, "There's no coyote on Isle Royale. What?" And I look over, and it's a silver fox. He's just looking at me, and he's just standing right there. Like, I mean, the wildlife is almost not wild. I mean, they're so used to so many people. And I say, no, that's a gray fox. And so he goes, I'm gonna go tell Dad. So he goes and runs down. They were all down at lakeside, checking out the big lake, hanging out down in Superior. And when he came back, he's like, "Hey, Uncle Jeremy, you never believe this. I just seen another gray fox, but it was like 10 times the size of that one." And I'm like, "Where did you see it at?" Yeah, yeah. He's like, "It went right across the trail and then went down and then it was gone." I'm like, "Oh, cool." So, all right, I'm putting my food bag in with you tonight.
Yeah, you might want to stay near me. Just stay
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. It was pretty crazy. So it was like early in the day, late morning ish, something like that. Because when you're first hiking, like when you first start backpacking, it takes forever to get your stuff loaded up. It felt like,
Oh,
like,
don't I know that? I know all about that, dude.
yeah. I'm curious at and actually in the chat, I'd be curious to know too, like what was your guys's like first tents that you used on a backpacking trip, or first hammocks, or whatever you used first? So
Yeah.
do you remember what yours was?
Yeah, I remember my first hammock. It was an Eno double nest, and it's the first time I went down to the gorge solo, by the way, with no experience, and
In an Eno.
in an Eno, and I'm a big guy, and it was a 10-foot hammock, and I'm a 12-foot guy. And so, and my first tent was an Aspen 2 from Marmot. Yeah, Marmot Aspen 2.
I think
Still have that tent, by the way.
My brother had a 3-person Marmot he carried on that trip for him and his son, and I carried a 3-person Morrison. Gosh, what was the name of that brand? I almost feel like I could run over and grab it. I can't think of the name of it. Mountain Smith Morrison 3.
I remember Mountain Smith.
Yeah, that was like and it's so funny because he was telling me how great Marmot was, and I'm looking at mine. I was like, I feel like this was a good tent too, and I'm looking at, they're just different colors. So that's really what I felt was the only difference. It was just different colors. So, but Maine mosquito, what?
It's Bayers of Maine, Bayers.
Oh,
Buyers of Maine.
I still not. I don't even know that brand. I can't remember.
Yeah, it's an older brand, I think. They're not around as much anymore.
Okay.
And then KillQuest said,
"Oh, MSR. Okay. Was it? Did you guys get that from REI? I'm wondering, because wasn't that one of their big tents that they carried for a long time?"
Yeah.
Okay. So.
So Grumpy's here. I want to say hi to Grumpy. Hey, Grumpy. Welcome, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, it was cool seeing him. Grumpy bought an ATOD hammock. He's now in the ATOD hammock club.
Yeah.
So that is pretty cool. Got to run.
See you, girl. Yeah,
Yes.
Patty. Kiss that pretty baby.
So
I got it at Moose Jaw.
I remember Moose Jaw. What did I order from them? I think I ordered my water filter from Moose Jaw. Didn't they used to have like a catalog back in the day that they'd send out and stuff?
I think so.
I feel like it was almost like a JC Penney catalog of outdoor stuff.
That was pre Walmart buyout.
Yeah, yeah. Holy cow, Coleman 3-person, 8 pounds. That's hilarious. The question is, did it come with a footprint?
Yes. What kind of footprint did it leave?
Yeah. So I never really I don't gear shame people. It's like I don't care if you carry an 8-pound hammock or a hammock or tent or whatever now, it doesn't matter. But about the weirdest thing I think I seen anybody carry, we were doing it's actually a couple of my buddies. We were trying to do the Alpine Loop in Colorado, and it didn't have a footprint. Awesome. So 8 pounds without the footprint, that would have added another 2 pounds. Yeah. So okay, you by now Sparky's humor, right? He's kind of off sometimes. He's straightforward. Mm-hmm. Well, our buddy, we just got to camp, and he does a lot with like scouts, and so we're starting to put up our stuff. And he had like a 6 moon. He was talking about how light the hey Chris, Jeremy, everyone, I bought The Last Dream. yes he did. That's awesome. So but he started to set up his 6 moon design, ultralight tent. Mm-hmm. And when he went to put the stakes in the ground, he literally pulled a hammer out of his bag.
What's the point?
First off, I gotta say, I'm not gonna. This guy is awesome. I love him to death, and he probably is the only guy that I know that's ever taken all of his kids out hiking at one time, and they were all under like 5 years old. I mean, the dude, he's incredible. So anyways, he takes his hammer out and he starts putting his stakes in the ground, and Sparky's like, why do you have a hammer? He's like, well, what else you got to put your stakes in with? He's like, a rock. I mean, so then it's kind of like, oh, okay. But it's like, I don't care. If you're going to carry it, go for it. You know,
if you can carry it,
buddy.
You know, what's amazing is, so I'll go on Amazon, cause I live there. I'll go on Amazon and I'll look
links in the description.
I'll read the different, look at tents like Nature Hike or some of these off brands or whatever. And they're like ultralight tent. And I think I'm not a gear snob by any means, but I think I'm gear spoiled in the sense that I'm comparing everything I'm seeing, the weights of everything I'm seeing, 3 pounds, 3.5 pounds, 2.5 pounds to a duplex. And so I'm like, I can't justify buying that because I have a 1 pound tent.
Yeah.
So not gear snob, but gear spoiled.
Yeah. I mean, I think sometimes it's like, you almost think of ways that you can save weight just so you can spend it elsewhere. Right. So it's almost like saving money for a big purchase or whatever. You're trying to save money on certain aspects of it to spend on others. I mean, I think I was down to like right around 8 pounds flat on my base weight before I started adding a few things here and there or whatever. Mm-hmm. Like, but and honestly, that just boils down to, if I'm going solo hiking or if I'm going with people, that's the only thing that really determines my base weight anymore. If I'm going with a group, I'm probably going to bring a chair. Outside of that, I never would worry about a chair. I got a hammock,
Okay. That reminds me, I got to give more props to Carlson. And this is an odd event because he's giving me compliments and I'm giving him props. This will never happen.
Love going on here.
Yeah. Never happen again. So we're out this weekend, and my chair, I have the Helinox Chair 2. It is 2.93 pounds.
Okay.
It's freaking heavy. Now, in the grand scheme of everything I was carrying this weekend, it didn't matter. Sure. But I was talking to him about his chair. He has a Big Agnes Skyline Ultralight chair, and it weighs 1 pound, 11 ounces, which is 27 ounces. And so as we were talking, we were just talking about his chair because I really liked it, and I wanna decrease the weight. I want to be able to bring a chair more often. And so as I was sitting there in the hammock, I'm ordering it on Amazon, so it'll be here tomorrow. So I'm going lighter on my chair. And when you mentioned chair, that's what made me think of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm going lighter on my chair so I can bring it more often. You know.
Do you think about like so switching to truck camping,
Mhm.
when you start to pack for a truck camping trip, do you consider how much stuff you're packing, or is it just throw it all in and if I use it, great? Like, I mean, where are you on that scale?
You wouldn't know it by how my setup looked at the meetup because that was I looked like Fred Sanford at the meetup.
Well, you're giving a bunch of stuff away, though.
Right. You wouldn't know it. But what I've been trying to do is to simplify everything. And so I used to carry all kinds of stuff that I never used. It's the same thing as you do with backpacking. And now I'm down to an air mattress, a slumberjack sleeping bag, some water, those Hydro Pack bags that I use for water.
Yeah.
And then one tote. I used to bring 3 totes of stuff, 1 tote of kitchen stuff, and that's it. And I tried to keep it to just that. And that system has been it works normally until you get to a meetup situation where I have to bring all this like tickets and boxes and all these things for the giveaway. And that's why it looked like awful.
Carport tents.
Carport, yeah. Well, I'll bring the carport tent. Man, how useful was that thing?
No, the one that I won, the ginormous carport.
Oh, well, no. Yeah. I was talking about the other Hasika, the one that I actually used that everyone else got to use to stay out of the rain but me.
Yeah. So that the one that I won is going to make its appearance at the next meetup. Just FYI. Yeah. It will. I mean, we're drafting plans right now, if that tells you anything. So
since we're having a costume, or not a costume, but a site decoration party, you could really do that thing up.
We already thought about. I don't think either one of us are going to make the fall one.
Okay.
Unfortunately, because we talked about it. We're like, man, we could make that into a haunted tunnel. Like,
Yeah.
Literally, we were coming up with different things for that. But I think what we're going to do is we're probably going to take up more space than Gary this next spring. So yeah, his RV and truck and trailer. Yeah, we're going to probably take up more space than that next year. We're trying to figure out how to get the recliners there at this point. So
I hope it doesn't rain, dude, because that thing's not very,
it'll be okay. We got plans.
Okay.
So, but no. So when I'm packing, I'm finding myself like, when I first did the first overlanding trip, it's like, man, I'm throwing all this stuff in. And now I'm starting to literally do the same thing like I did with backpacking, starting to whittle it down. And it's like, okay, I mean, I could really, if it's just me, I mean, it's a backpack, a tote, and actually probably 2 small totes. I don't need that much space now.
Yeah.
So, which is kind of nice. It makes it fast for packing up, but especially if I sleep in the Bronco, which I'm finding out more and more, I really enjoy that. I mean, especially with that platform.
That's why I don't use a tent anymore. That slumberjack tent, because just like I had my door open and my window open at the meetup, but luckily I was saved from the rain for that awning. But yeah, I sleeping in the back and simple as possible. That's the way to go.
Yeah, I think the only thing that tent would have been great for is if we would have made Sedona having a place to stand up and change and not feel like, because that does get, as I get older, that gets a little harder to do that in the Bronco. So, but having a little bit of a living space, if it does rain on you, I mean, that does make it nice. So, but,
well, that awning I had, it actually ripped from the wind. It ripped out one of the corners. So I got a grommet that corner back, and luckily I have a grommet kit off Amazon, links in the description. But yeah,
your experience with the sewing machine now. I mean, come on.
I had experience prior. I had some experience with a sewing machine, but I really just thought one of us should use it and not wuss out. And I got all the trouble to bring it. I didn't care if I won or not. I should just use it.
I got to tell you, like, yours by far looked the best. So, I mean, that the ridgeline actually looked perfect. I don't know how you got the right size on that, but it
I
actually
know.
looked perfect. So, although Carlson, your adjustable ridgeline, I will tell you that there might be a future there. That was pretty, that was slick.
Yeah.
So, but so no, other than that, man. Hey, yeah, once again, like I said, I apologize. We got some scheduling issues at last second with Mr. Shin. So we'll work on getting that corrected. Hopefully we'll get him back here soon. Got lots of cool stuff to talk about with him, and super nice guy, just a
Yeah.
wonderful guy, and especially with his extended family, or growing family, I should say.
Yeah.
I know he's really works hard to get outside and make great content. So I'm definitely looking forward to talking to him about that. But
So
um,
you're never going to get out of sewing hammocks, by the way, because
oh my gosh, dude, I do appreciate that though. Um, you know, like literally, thank you very much, Grumpy. I mean, that's super cool of you, dude. And Justin from It's Good in the Woods. I mean, he probably gave me one of the best compliments I could ever hope for. I was
yeah.
like, it made me want to run to the sewing machine, honestly, and start making some more. So it's like, I don't really do that much different. I mean, I got a couple little things I do in making them that might be a little different than conventional hammocks. But I think sometimes like people, I gotta watch how I say this with you. So so sometimes if you make it just like 3 inches longer, it actually works out a whole lot better. You know
That's
what I
what I
mean?
found.
But
Hey, there's no way you're getting out of that one.
I know. Like so much for my PG rating, but but for the most part, it's like seriously though, when these fabrics are so narrow, you need to find the space somehow. And if
Yeah.
you make them just a little longer, I mean, the Cloud 71 has a place. I mean, you just got to get used to the stretch in it, which I think can be a benefit once you find that sweet spot. I think it probably increases the sweet spot. But
Can you
um,
imagine if it just came on the roll like 5 or 6 inches longer in the width?
yeah,
How much more? And
yeah,
honestly, that's the only comfort problem with it that I
yeah.
have found. For a big guy like me, that's the only comfort problem is if it's 5 or 6 inches longer on the width, it'd be perfect.
That's with Bumblebee 1.0, my very first hammock that I made for myself.
Yeah.
It's still my favorite hammock, and I don't know if that's just a mental thing because but I made it. It was 10 feet 10 inches long, so it's 2 inches shorter than the 11 foot. However, I made it like 5 inches wider,
Mhm.
so I made it super wide, and that's because you can get such a flat diagonal lay. And it was so funny because I like at one of the meetups, I think we were at Hanson's Point when Goat was there, maybe.
That's the
He
one
got in.
where I got in yours.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and yeah, I
And we all
forgot you did
prayed.
too.
We all prayed it would hold.
Yeah, yeah. So, but yeah, he got in. He's like, I see why you like this so well. I was like, it works. So I think that we get so stuck on this 9 foot, 10 foot, 11 foot that I don't think that that's necessarily the right geometry. I think if
Good
hammock
Lord.
manufacturers would maybe expand on that a little more, I I think they might find something that works a little better. So, and then
We Carlson and I were talking about this weekend. It's like because your hammock that you made us is comfortable, but when you
mhm,
compare it to the width of say the Sparrow from Dream
sure,
Hammock,
yeah,
it's just the diagonal lay is
completely different.
completely different.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, I think that well, those guys, I am a huge Dream Hammock mark. Like I love their
Yep.
stuff. Funny enough, I've never owned a Dream Hammock. My brother has. He bought one. And I but that doesn't mean I haven't admired them from a distance. You know what I mean? It's like I've laid in them, I've got to experience them. I've seen them, I've talked to them. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it just
I'll end up
they're
having three when I get the new one. I'll
yeah,
get
I
a
mean,
Raven, a Sparrow, and then I'll have another Sparrow in the monolight.
yeah, well, they were some of the first ones to really just go all in with the 1.6 Hyper D, and it's like you can't go wrong with that fabric. I mean,
Right.
that if you ask me, it's the amount of weight savings in some of these other fabrics is not necessary compared to the comfort of 1.6 and security of it. So,
Right.
I just like again, I'm a huge mark for those guys. I think they do great works, but But
Yep.
yeah, but no, I was very grateful to Justin from It's Good in the Woods and all the great words and the fact that he said, he's like, yeah, this is the hammock that made me like hammock camping. And I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, you can't beat that.
No, that was about as good of a compliment as you can give anybody. So, and then I'm just glad he didn't know my Etsy at that point in time. So
Yeah, because I texted you. I'm like, dude, you better be ready. You're
yeah,
getting.
yeah, I didn't even know that till you sent that to me. I haven't watched his video yet until you sent
Yeah.
that, and then I was like, wow, holy cow. So
Gotta
that
get
was
some
really
orders.
yeah, yeah. So, which hopefully I get that guy on. I'd love to carry on a conversation with him. We keep talking about him coming down to the gorge and everything else, but he
It's a
is
long
probably
drive.
it is. If he flew into Fort Wayne, I'd take him, or I'm sure Jason would pick him up in Lexington. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
we'd find a way to make it work, but we definitely need to get that guy into this group as well too. So he's
Yep.
such a good guy. But I see
agree.
anybody that leads a man that's been blind for the majority of his life, like up 46 peaks in the winter in New Hampshire. I mean, that's amazing. So, which
Yeah.
if you guys have not seen it, it's called Four More Feet. It's actually a video about this trip of Randy, who's blind, actually is part of the 46 Club in New Hampshire, and Justin let him up those mountains in one single winter. Great movie, great documentary. The person that put that together, I think she was the producer, ended up meeting Justin on that trip and becoming his wife. So just a really, really cool story. But I really recommend that. And I believe all the proceeds to that movie purchased go to help people with just basically with blind awareness in New Hampshire, just because there's such a problem with it up there.
Is her name Dina?
I think so.
Yeah, I think I found it.
Okay.
Let me try to share it real quick. Just I think. Is it this one? Because
yes.
Randy Pearson.
Yep.
Okay.
That's definitely Justin in front. You can tell by his walk.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So her name's Dina Sutton. I thought it was on his channel, but I don't.
Yeah.
I don't see it, but that's what he's talking about right there.
Yeah, and I know the documentary Four More Feet, that is on Amazon, I believe. I think that's where I bought it at. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So it's only like $5 or $7. It's not very much. So it's very much, especially for the money to go to such a good cause.
Yeah.
It's definitely worth it. But cool, man. Well, hey, buddy, I won't keep you on here. I know we kind of.
I can get my second workout in.
Yeah, I know. I feel bad.
No, you're fine.
I might go out for a run now. So.
It's going to be upper body because my legs are trashed.
Yeah, yeah. Well, hey, I'm proud of you if that means anything. So keep it up. And so keep those Instagram posts going too, because they literally are making me feel guilty into doing something every time I watch them. So my youngest daughter walks by me in a day and she'll say 5 push-ups, and then we both have to do 5 push-ups now. We'll do that like 5 times each throughout the day.
One thing I forgot to mention about this weekend was that Peterson was out there with us, Michael Peterson. And Joanna, and they took the long way back from Peninsula. They took, because they were parked at Blackwell, and they did 8 miles in the rain. We did 5.
Ugh.
Little Joanna, man, she's a beast.
Yeah, heck yeah, that's awesome. So cool.
Okay,
all right, brother. Well, hey, everybody, thanks for sticking around. Like I say, I apologize for some of the scheduling problems that we've had with this. So we'll try to get that corrected. And then I guess keep your ears out. You got Campfires Cat Holes coming up?
We do on Wednesday. In fact, I want to mention that we're going to have QQuest on, and for the first 10 minutes, we're going to have the guy who makes neighborhood packs. Carlson got his first test of that in the rain, and everything was bone dry inside. He's getting ready to start on my pack, and so everybody on Wednesday, I'm going to make the broadcast tomorrow, but stay tuned for that. We're going to have QQuest on.
Awesome. I will be looking forward to it. So, all right, guys. Well, till next time, we'll see ya.
Peace.